It is our second major news bulletin for the day, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state, and it is Flow News at noon. My name is Michael Oni. The headlines. Presidency clears former Governor Amosu of illegal arms importation. New Jersey Island gives conditions for return of 82 billion naira Abacha loot. Ekeoha market traders protest multiple taxation by government revenue agents. And on the foreign scene, Egypt detains opposition leader for alleged anti-government plot. The details shortly. The presidency has dismissed an allegation that former governor of Ogun State, Senator Bibukunla Agmosun, illegally imported massive weapons and ammunition into the country. Presidential spokesperson Garuba Shehu disclosed that preliminary investigation by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, showed that there was no sinister motive in the former governor's action. Amosun had, in a statement by his media aide, Rotimi Durojaye, denied handing over the alleged large arms and ammunition, stating that all its arms importation were authorized by the presidency under former President Goodluck Jonathan. An online news portal, Premium Times, had published a story claiming that Amosu imported without appropriate permits 1,000 AK-47 assault guns and 4 million rounds of ammunition. President Muhammad Buhari says deliberate efforts to guarantee autonomy of state legislatures and judiciary will further strengthen democracy, deepen inclusiveness of citizens, and ensure fairness for ordinary Nigerians. The president made these remarks while receiving the report of the Presidential Implementation Committee on Financial Autonomy of State Legislature and Judiciary at the State House in Abuja. Chairman of this committee and the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, said implementation of the recommendations would entrench constitutionalism, democratic principles, and separation of powers.
It's about the constitutional order. It is about the sustenance of the requirement of the Constitution as it relates to the independence of the state judiciary and indeed the state legislature. And the committee had indeed presented a report to the president.
The president of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says there is no jumbo package for the National Assembly members. Lawan, who made this disclosure when members of the Senators Forum paid him a courtesy visit in his office in Abuja, revealed that his monthly salary as a lawmaker and that of his colleagues remained 750,000 naira monthly. He pledged that activities of the National Assembly will be open to the general public, particularly in the area of funding.
I never believed that there is anything called jumbo pay to the National Assembly. The National Assembly members, both the Senate and the House, receive what is their salaries, and I receive 750,000 as my salary. But I need to function as a senator. My office needs to be properly funded. And therefore, I cannot conduct my oversight without some funding. So I believe that Nigerians need to understand this. So I believe that we need to continue to engage with the public. The public needs to understand what our functions, our roles are.
The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, is assuring commuters patronizing the Nigeria Railway Corporation of maximum security at all times with the deployment of police dogs to railway stations across the country. At the official deployment ceremony in Abuja, the IGP said men of the K9 squad have been properly trained to specifically checkmate the activities of illicit drug dealers and other criminals exploring the option of rail transportation. He explained that the initiative is within the context of Operation Puff Adder and is expected to complement the existing security measures across the country.
K9 are known to possess extraordinary capacity for detection of improvised explosive devices, narcotics, and other illicit drugs. With today's initiatives, passengers, staff, and indeed all the citizens of this country can further be reassured of their security as they patronize the services of the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
And back home in Abia State, the Court of Appeal in Owerri has upheld the judgment of High Court of Abia State, which sentenced the traditional ruler of Ipupe Autonomous Community in Ubakala, Umuahia South Local Government Area, Eze Bob Obiaru to a fine of 3 million naira or in default of payment 2 years imprisonment for embezzlement of 40 million naira belonging to Ipupe community. The money was meant for the compensation of his community for the construction of NIPP electricity transmission lines from Enugu through the sacred forest of Ipupe community. In his judgment, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Adanyaso also affirmed the lower court judgment that the sum of 10 million naira and the time deposit account in First Bank PLC fixed by Eze Obiaru from the proceeds of the crime be forfeited and given to the true representatives of Ipupe community. The traditional ruler was earlier arraigned before Justice Agu Umar Kalu for fraudulently converting to personal use 40 million naira out of the 60 million naira paid to Ipupe community by the National Integrated Power Project as compensation to relocate the community's shrines in order to give way for the power project that passed through the area. Also, the judge held that shares bought by the Eze from the proceeds of the crime be forfeited, sold, and the money realized given to the same representatives of Ipupe Autonomous Community. And still in Abia State, traders in Ekeoha Shopping Center in Aba have embarked on a peaceful protest to express their displeasure over the imposition of multiple taxation and harassment by government revenue collectors. The traders who were in government house in Umuahia through their spokesperson, Ugochukwu Oriako, said the ill treatment meted on them in the market has caused most of the traders to abandon their businesses.
If they want to raise any structure, you say no. They attend, O Israel. They will market you and do you whatever they will do. But what happened last Saturday is beyond my imagination. The brutal act of the so-called Bakassi people that is being superheaded by the Ekeoha Shopping Center chairman, Fred Demili. So it was a terrible one. I personally was involved. Around 5:30, they came up. They had their generator, something like generator and cement to touch up a structure that is not up 3 feet.
Responding, Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Opai Agu, commended the traders for not taking laws into their hands and assured that the matter will be addressed urgently.
The governor of Abia State, he has provided convivial environment for everybody to do his or her business here in Abia State. Therefore, anybody that can cause problem will be running counter the wish and governor. The governor will condemn in his entirety anybody or group of persons that will cause problem in the state. Agency come there to inspect that place. Immediately, you have said now, we begin to handle them one after the other.
The National President, National Union of Local Government Employees, NULGA, Ibrahim Khalil, is calling for peace amongst its members and amicable resolution of issues arising from any quarter amongst their members before organizing election into the executive. Addressing newsmen in Umuahia, Khalil said the trade union movement is all about solidarity and sacrifice, where the interest of the
members, you must be together. You must be united. So that unity is what we are trying to protect and defend. And we urge all of you to have peace in what we are saying. We are all important partners as far as this issue is concerned. So it's not the government interest that matters to us, but it's our being one union that is our concern.
He therefore called for peaceful resolution of any wrangling within their fold to make progress. You're listening to Flow News at noon. The news continues shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Do stay tuned.
Get inspired, motivated, and educated as we bring you up to speed on happenings around the globe. Tune in to Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of a successful day, the flow of God's own state. God's own state.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. And now straight to business. The Chief Executive Officer of the Bank of Industry, Olukayode Peter, says there is a financing gap of about 1 trillion